Okay, so now we're going to move to the tangent function. This is kind of different from what we've seen before. Over here, the the period would be pi. Over here, before in cos and sine, the period was 2 pi. But in the tangent function, it's pi. And there's always a vertical asymptote. So I hope you know what an asymptote is, but if not, don't worry. So an asymptote is something, it's like a value that the graph approaches but never reaches that point. Over here you can see that it will get like infinitely close to this line, but it never crosses that line. So it's never equal to that point. So I hope it's clear now. Okay, moving on. So the vertical asymptotes are always at x equals to pi by 2 plus k pi. Yeah, that's all you need to know. And this is the shape of the graph. It looks somewhat like this. It just goes like this. I don't know how to describe it, but I hope it's understandable. And now let's look at some additional notes plus questions. So the general tangent function is y equals to a bx plus c. And a must be greater than 0 and b also should be greater than 0. And the principal axis is y equals to c. And then the period of this function is pi by b. Before it used to be 2 pi by b for sine and cosine, but for tangent, it's going to be pi by b. And the amplitude of this function is undefined. The reason for this is because it always increases. This function is never ending. This will keep increasing. So the value of y will keep increasing in this direction, and it will move towards the negative infinity in this direction. So therefore it's undefined. If this is clear, let's move on to a few questions. First, try to solve these questions and then we'll work through it together. Okay, now let me read the question. Find b and c given that the function y equals to tan bx plus c has a period of 2 pi by 3 and a principal axis of 2. Okay. We know that the value of c is essentially the principal axis, which is y equals to 2. So therefore, c is 2. Pretty simple. And now we know that the period is pi by b. And they've given us the period, which is 2 pi by 3. Therefore, it's going to be pi by b. And b would be 2 by 3. So we got our values of b and c. b is 2 by 3 and c is 2. Let's do the same thing for this. C would be minus 3 and the period is pi by b and the period is pi by 2 in this case. So therefore b is 2. b is 2, c is minus 3. That's what we also got. This is all for the cos, sine, and tan functions. Now we're gonna go about trying to solve equations and we're gonna learn a bit more. Okay, so let's look at this question. We have to solve x on the domain 0 to 4 pi. And our first question is 2 cos x minus 1 equals to 0. 2 cos x minus 1 is 0. Therefore, cos x is 1 by 2. Now to find the value of x, we have to do cos inverse of 1 divided by 2. If you plug this into your calculator, you get pi by 3 radians. And now the second value would be 2 pi minus pi by 3, which is 5 pi by 3. So this is in the domain 0 to 2 pi, and but the question states 4 pi. So therefore, our third value would be 3 pi plus 2 pi, pi by 3 plus 2 pi, which is, let me see, 7 pi by 3. And our fourth value would be this, which is 11 pi by 3. This is our answer. Let's solve the next two questions. We have sine x is 1 by root 2. So sine inverse of 1 divided by root 2, it's 45 degrees, which is pi by 4. And now the second value would be pi minus pi by 4, which is 3 pi by 4. Our third value is pi by 4 plus 2 pi, which is going to be 9 pi by 4. And fifth answer would be 3 pi by 4 plus 2 pi, which is going to be 11 pi by 4. Yeah. Okay, this is the first, second, third, fourth. Let's do tan x equals to 1. So x will be tan inverse of 1, which is also 1 by 4 pi. And x would be pi plus 1 by 4, which is 5 pi by 4. Fourth value, third and fourth value would be plus 2 pi, which is 11 pi by 4. And then 5 pi by 4 plus 2 pi, which is 13 pi by 4. These are our four answers. If you're getting confused with this, look at my previous playlist and then it'll be clear. Okay, now let's solve this. I'll just solve it here only. We have to solve this for the domain 0 to 5 pi. So cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 is 2 by 3 pi, and then it will be pi minus that, not pi, sorry, 2 pi minus that, which is 4 by 3 pi, and then we just got to add 2 pi to this, plus 2, it's going to be 8 by 3 pi, and 10 by 3 pi. And now let's try to add 2 pi to this. It's still in the range, so the final answer would be 14 pi by 3. This is the answer. And let's solve this question. We have sine x equals to 1 divided by 2. Now if we take the inverse of sine, we get x equals to 1 by 6 pi, and the second value would be pi minus that, which is 5 by 6 pi, and now we got to subtract 2 pi from it. We get minus 7 by 6 pi, And then when we do 1 by 6 minus 2 pi, we get minus 11 by 6 pi. Just like, I think this is 2 pi and 2 pi. Minus 2 pi and 2 pi. Yeah. Okay. Now we're done with this question. Now let's look at the answer. Let me just move it here. Okay, we got 2 by 3 pi, 4 by 3 pi, 8 by 3 pi, 10 pi by 3, and 14 pi by 3. So we got this part correct. And now these are essentially the same, so it doesn't matter. But in the exam, do not do this. If they ask in radians, do that. If they ask in degrees, do that. Please do not mix up the values. You're going to lose a lot of marks.